Today, we're diving into the heart of the action, where every moment counts and every play is a story waiting to be told.
Football history is being written, and the road to the 2026 FIFA World Cup has delivered some of the most dramatic, emotional, and surprising qualification stories we've ever seen. From new nations making their first ever appearance, to giants returning with redemption on their minds, and underdogs shaking the entire football world, this is the story of how countries across Africa, Europe, Asia, South America, and beyond secured their place on the biggest stage in global sports. And today on Apex Real Sports, we're breaking it all down. The teams that qualified, the stars to watch, the expectations, and the nations ready to shock the world in 2026. Welcome back to Apex Real Sports, your home for deep football storytelling, world-class match analysis, and the most entertaining breakdowns on YouTube. If you love football content that goes beyond the highlights, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and join the community. Now let's dive into the nations marching toward the 2026 World Cup. Let's begin in Africa, the continent that has delivered some of the most exciting and emotional qualification stories this year. Africa has 9 confirmed qualifiers, the highest ever, plus one more nation heading into the Intercontinental Playoff. The football energy across the continent has been electrifying. First up, Algeria, winners of Group G. Algeria returns to the World Cup after missing out in 2018 and 2022. Their qualification was powered by discipline, experience, and a core of players who have battled on the biggest stages. Riyad Mahrez, still a magician on the ball, Houssam Aouar dictating rhythm, and Rami Ben Sabani commanding the backline. Algeria's ambition? Reach the knockout stage. They have the talent, but consistency will decide everything. Next, Cape Verde, winners of Group D. This is one of the most beautiful football stories of the year. This will be Cape Verde's first ever World Cup appearance. A nation with heart, passion, and chemistry, built not on superstars, but on unity and tactical discipline. Players like Ryan Mendes and Jamira Montero have carried the flag with pride. And expectations? They're not just going to show up, they're going to compete. Cape Verde could easily become the next big underdog story. Third, Egypt, winners of Group A. Egypt returns after missing 2022 through the heartbreaking loss to Senegal. But now they're back with confidence, experience, and of course, Mohamed Salah, still performing at world-class level. Add players like Trezeguet and El Neni, and you have a well-balanced squad ready to challenge. Egypt's goal is clear: reach the round of 16 for the first time ever. Fourth, Ghana, winners of Group I. Ghana's team is young, explosive, and dangerous. They may not be at their peak yet, but the potential is massive. Mohamed Kudus, one of Africa's finest talents, and Naki Williams, pace and power, Thomas Partey, leadership in midfield. Ghana is unpredictable, and that makes them dangerous. If their midfield clicks, they could shock many. Fifth, Ivory Coast, winners of Group F. Fresh off their incredible AFCON 2023 victory, Ivory Coast enter this World Cup with momentum and belief. Sebastian Haller, Frank Kessié, Simon Adingra, this team has quality everywhere. They're not just participating, they're targeting the quarterfinals. Sixth, Morocco, winners of Group E. The pride of the continent, the first ever African semi-finalists. Morocco returns with even more experience, more chemistry, and more ambition. Hakimi, Amrabat, and Nasseri still leading the charge. Their expectation? Another deep run. Seventh, Senegal, winners of Group B. Senegal are still giants. Their squad is powerful, fast, and tactically sharp. With Sadio Mane, Koulibaly, Ismaila Sarr, and Nicholas Jackson, this team has world-class quality. The goal? Quarterfinals minimum. Eighth, South Africa, winners of Group C. South Africa has rebuilt themselves beautifully. Their AFCON 2023 run reminded the world that Bafana Bafana should never be underestimated. Ronwen Williams, elite goalkeeper. Percy Tau, unpredictable, to Boho Makona, midfield engine. Their goal in 2026? Shock one of the big teams. Ninth, Tunisia, winners of Group H. Tunisia remain one of Africa's most consistent World Cup teams. They defend well, play with discipline, and frustrate even the strongest opponents. Players like Elias Skiri and Hannibal Mejbari will be key. Expectations? Break the group stage curse. And finally, DR Congo. They won the CAF Continental Playoff and now head to the Intercontinental Playoff. With players like Yoane Wissa and Chancel Mbemba, DR Congo absolutely has the firepower to become Africa's 10th representative. Now let's move beyond Africa and look at the qualification picture across the rest of the world, because 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most competitive World Cups ever. Starting with Europe. As always, European qualification was brutal, filled with surprises, drama, and big teams fighting until the very last match day. Nations like England, France, Portugal, and Germany all secured qualification with strong campaigns. Portugal were particularly impressive, playing some of their best football in years, led by Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, and a new generation of exciting attackers. Meanwhile, teams like Scotland and Serbia battled their way through tough groups to earn their spots. Europe enters 2026 with depth, experience, and multiple contenders for the trophy. Next, we head to South America, the land of passion, noise, flair, and footballing magic. Argentina and Brazil both qualified as expected, but the road was not smooth. Argentina continue their new era after Messi, while Brazil are still searching for identity with their young stars coming through. Teams like Uruguay, Colombia, and Ecuador showed enormous growth, each with squads filled with emerging talents ready for 2026. Over in Asia,
Get ready to dive into the action with Apex Real Sports exclusive football content, bringing you closer to the game than ever before.
qualification race was intense. Japan and South Korea continued to dominate the region, showing world-class discipline and technical ability. Saudi Arabia and Iran once again proved their strength, while rising teams like Uzbekistan and Qatar are becoming serious contenders. Asia enters the World Cup stronger than ever and could easily deliver surprises. In North and Central America, the host region, USA, Mexico, and Canada all qualify automatically. The United States has one of the youngest squads in world football, with players dominating in Europe. Meanwhile, Mexico looks to bounce back after a disappointing 2022 campaign, and Canada, led by Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David, are stronger than ever. And finally, Oceania. New Zealand continues to lead the region and remains the favorite to represent Oceania in 2026. Their young generation is talented, hungry, and aiming to make history. So as we look across every continent, Africa, Europe, Asia, the Americas, Oceania, one thing is clear. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be the most diverse, most competitive, and most unpredictable World Cup we have ever seen. New nations making history, giants returning to dominance, young stars ready to explode onto the world stage. And Africa, with a record number of qualified teams, could be ready for its greatest World Cup yet. Now I want to hear from you. Which team do you think will go the farthest in the 2026 World Cup? Drop your prediction in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Apex Real Sports, and turn on notifications, because more World Cup stories are on the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Welcome to Apex Real Sports, where we bring you the highlights and insights from the world of sports.